Sit back, relax, and take a virtual ride with me. You'll see interesting places you probably haven't seen. I hope you enjoy the ride and discover new places with me. Sit back, relax, and take a virtual ride with me.
Good morning, sports fans. Ben from Ben's Hang-Ups here. Well, we're on a road trip. We're on our way to Fort Wayne, Indiana. That's right, Fort Wayne, Indiana. And I've got about 4 stops to make in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I don't know if I'm going to make them all. Depends on how fast I get through these places, how much I gab. But as you may know, this is episode 200. That's kind of a milestone for old Ben, you know. So it's got to be a little special anyway. I don't know how special it is. Depends on your likes and dislikes. Hopefully you'll find it interesting. I've done some lately that have been pretty interesting, not getting any views. Had a submarine here 2 weeks ago. Yeah, the USS Cod. Good video. Very interesting. That's where the lady got stuck inside. Had to have the fire department haul her out of there. Anyway, gotta go back and see that if you haven't seen it. So as always, folks, hope to see you there, and I'll see you down the road. So where's old Ben at today? As I mentioned, I'm in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Take a look around behind me here. And if you look this way, you're looking downtown Fort Wayne. If you're looking over here, across this road, you're looking at the old fort. Yep, that's Fort Wayne. Quite a history. We'll talk about that a little bit. Yeah, we're going to walk around here. I'm going to tell you right now that I had a big problem. And I still do. You don't know where in the hell to park. So anyway, we're going to still mosey over there and see what's going on. Hang with me there, sports fans. Well, folks, this is the fort at Fort Wayne. Originally, there was 3 forts. First one was built in 1793 by General Anthony Wayne. Now, the reason they built this fort is because of the 3 rivers that joined here. Very close to each other, the St. Joe, the St. Mary's, the Menominee, which was very close to Fort Wayne, and another one was the Little River, which was close to Fort Wayne, now known as the Wabash, or was known as the Wabash. All these rivers, you could portage from one to another. So when you canoed the rivers, with fur trading and so forth, you could portage across land and find the next river and move on. So this is the doctor's.
Yep, that's the doctor's quarters. The ones straight across. The commander would have his office on the bottom left-hand side. His kitchen is on the bottom right-hand side. And his living quarters and his family's quarters is in the upper 2nd floor with the bedrooms in place for any.
The first fort was built in 1793 by General Anthony Wayne. Now they built here for a good reason. There were 3 near rivers, 3 rivers that were nearby. They had the St. Joe, St. Mary's, the Menominee, and not too far away was the Little River, or what was known as the Wabash River. And these rivers, you could portage from one to the other. What that means is if you're a fur trader or you're trading, you canoe these rivers and then you walk and carry your canoes and your goods from one river to the next, and you're down another river. You could actually do this and make it all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. So it became a very important fort because of those rivers that all come in this area. Now the fort's under construction. It's in some bad repair. It's just deteriorated is what it's done over the years, and it needs to be rebuilt. And they're rebuilding that doctor's house and his quarters. This is the commander's quarters here. I believe it's next for reconstruction, and the blockhouse here. And if you take a good look at these, which we'll do, you'll see that they do need repair or rebuilding. You can see there that it's starting to deteriorate. Blockhouses are interesting. There's two. And with two blockhouses, you see you enter the door down there from inside the fort, but then you go outside the fort because the rest of the blockhouse is built on the outside. That way they can defend two sides of the fort. Blockhouse has had slits in it and gun ports so you could shoot out down each side. They had a place on top where troops could shoot from, and also they would have water. See those windows? If Indians or anybody started a fire, they could just dump the water out those holes there, those openings, or from that roof and put the fire out. Now the roofs are built at an angle so that arrows, flaming arrows, don't really, they have a hard time penetrating. This is the officers, junior officers' quarters. And it also needs repair. It won't be long, it'll have to have repaired. Yeah, it's turning red.
Okay, yeah. We've had a whole series of red tails that hang around here. And they come around when people are messing in the garden. I think that, they're assuming he's gonna scare up some rodents or something, I drove up one time. There were 3 of them in the garden, and they were.
This is inside that doctor's quarters where they're tearing anything that's salvageable out of there. Now all the fireplaces will stay. They actually had an engineer come in, a fireplace engineer from a big firm. And they said these things are solid as a rock, so they don't have to tear them or replace them. This is the enlisted men's quarters here. Now this fort was very important, particularly in the War of 1812. Fort Michilimackinac, the fort at Dearborn, Fort Detroit all fell during that war to the Iroquois and the English. There you can see some damage. Anyway, they all fell, but the fort at Fort Wayne did not. Several sieges, and they survived them all. You can see where these things are deteriorated over time, and they're made of wood after all, so they're going to deteriorate. But they are reconstructing all these buildings that will be redone. And they're tearing out anything that's salvageable right now. Then they'll be taken down. The wood is already being made. This one guy, he was the gardener. He was nice enough to let us in, even though they were doing that construction. And here's the other blockhouse, and this one has been done. It was just finished, and you can see it is in good shape. Now, some of the fencing needs repair also. Anyway, he took me in there and explained everything, showed me around. What a heck of a guy, nice guy. 2 guys were working in that doctor's house, and nice guys, all volunteers, really, really fine gentlemen. I appreciated their help. This is the outside of the enlisted man's quarters, and you can see all the gun ports there. The upstairs there, you've seen that little window where they could pour water down. Now this fort has quite a history, and the history of this area. But if you go online and look at Old Fort Wayne, you'll see different websites that will give you the history of this area. Very interesting reading. I would suggest you do that. Now outside the fort, there's some outbuildings, which there would have been. Any fort would have had its community outside the fort. If they became under attack, they could take refuge in the fort. Now these buildings look to be in pretty good shape for the most part. I think this one here may be next for some help. Maybe on the list. I'm not sure. Well, that's my sign right there that I've got other places to see here in Fort Wayne. And so you and I are going to be moseying. You know what that means? Yep. We're going to move on down the road.
Sit back, relax, and take
Now all I got to do is find my way around. Now somehow I got stuck going around circles. I believe I went around 3 times. 1. I don't know why. Just kept going around a circle. Try to find my bearings. Next thing you know, I'm back out here.
relax in your seat, turn on your TV. Sights and sounds will fill your video screen. Historic
Going around a circle.
majestic scenery, small town parks and festivities. No
Construction.
high-priced gas or anxiety.
Let's see if I can get out of here another way. Nope. And try the fort again. Okay, there we went around twice. Should we try for 3? Yep. This time I think I'm gonna make it. Oh yeah, here we go. Well, here we are downtown Fort Wayne. In this particular corner where I've parked, well, there's a couple churches, and there's a couple other churches just about a block away. Seems to be the church area here downtown. This is a beautiful Catholic church. Twin Towers. Now there's a reason I'm parked on this corner. Because I want to show you something. And this is the start of it. The Follinger Freeman Botanical Conservatory. It's a conservatory located right here in downtown Fort Wayne. Opened in 1983. It's not that old, see, 1983. And it comprises a total of about 100,000 square feet. Not bad. It's a lady in the garden. And I can tell you, you can see all these beautiful flowers blooming this time of year yet, which is magnificent. But notice the bees. Why, if you were a bee, this is honey, all right. This is the place to go. And they're doing their job. And they're doing it well. Fort Wayne considers this conservatory one of its prime crown jewels, and particularly the park department. Now there are a number of indoor gardens. There's a tropical oasis display with a waterfall, desert display, outdoor terrace. Just gardens here, gardens there, gardens everywhere. Exquisitely kept. Now this is the end of summer, and they've still got flowers blooming. Plants are thriving. I just wonder what it would be like in the spring. You find a little bit of everything in here. Chocolate plants. Oh yeah. Cacti. Or is that cactus? Not sure. Now I, for one, don't know a lot about plants or flowers. I just know one thing. I like them. The Botanical Conservatory began as an idea between two good friends who wanted Fort Wayne to have an indoor sanctuary to enjoy the wonders of nature. Well, Helen Follinger, publisher of the News Sentinel, and Bill Sowers, a local attorney and trustee, they got together. The two friends joined forces and secured some resources to begin construction. With the backing of the city of Fort Wayne, the Follinger Foundation, the Freeman Trust, and Lincoln National Corporation, the Conservative opened in 1983. Keep wanting to say 1883, and that's just a little bit too early. 1983 be just fine. Now, that said, I don't know anything about plants and flowers, but I like them. I think they're beautiful. So I'm going to show you a few. I'll show you around this place. Look at this thing. Can't imagine in the spring. Look at this one. This has to be my favorite. Beautiful. Now, the day I was here, I was lucky. There was only a few other people. I'd say 4 other people in the place. And that's the way old Ben likes it. Look at this one. Something very relaxing about running water. And a waterfall. Now on a hot day when it's nearly 90 degrees, you kind of wonder, it'd be kind of nice to be under that waterfall. To be a part of things. Chocolate. Now it's getting to be about 1:30 in the afternoon. And you can imagine what that means. It means I'm feeling a little hungry. There's another church down there. This is from inside the conservatory. And I looked out the window and this is what I saw. But we got to get up our giddy along and get going. Now I said I was having some camera difficulties, and this dash camera kept freezing up. Okay, sports fans, what'd you think? I thought that could be... It would have been nice if the fort would have been open. I mean, if they'd have had some reenactors there and so forth. I'm going to recommend that you go there, but you check first online. Now, I did, and they said they were open. So that doesn't always work. But they are doing that rebuilding process. But I would recommend that you go there when they've got something going on. They do a lot of reenactments. They do a lot of special events. And that's the time to go. And then I would highly recommend it. But to go like I did, it was actually closed. They just let us in, let a couple of us in, thankfully. And I ran into that gardener. Boy, he was a whiz of a guy. Good guy. Spent quite a bit of time with him, and he told me all about the fort. So anyway, they're rebuilding it. But go when there's an event. Now, there's other things to do in Fort Wayne. You've seen the botanical gardens, of course. I had three other things when I come to think of it. I had 3 other things planned, but I couldn't get to them today. Does that mean I'll go back? Well, it could be. Could be doing that someday. In the meantime, folks, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Make sure your name's in there so I can put it on the list. Doesn't cost you a thing. Give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up help a lot. That does help a lot. And you might want to repost this on Facebook or whatever so I can get some other viewers. That was my 200th episode. 200. Not bad. Sure like to see a lot of people watch it though. But anyway, folks, see you down.
You got the whole wide world to see. Great destinations and friendly people for seas, shining sea. I hope you enjoy the ride and discover new places with me. Come on back and relax and take another